العالمين وبه نستعين على أمور الدنيا والدين والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد. Inshallah, we're still in the book of Safinat النجاة, or the ship of salvation. Now inshallah we are in the section about water. If one wants to perform a wudu or ritual bath, if you want to have a bath, therefore there is two kinds of water with which you normally use. There is either a little water or abundant water, a lot of water. So this section inshallah, the Shaykh says al-ma'u qalilun wa kathirun. Water that you use either for bath or for ritual bath, for wudu or for bath, there is either little qalilun wa kathirun, or the abundant. Al-qalilu ma duna al-qullatayn. So when we say water, inshallah we'll come to explain. Al-qalilu ma duna al-qullatayn. A little amount of water is that which is less than 2 qullas. We'll come to explain that inshallah. Wal-kathiru, and the abundant water, qullatani fa-akthar. Abundant water, that which is 2 qullas, which is approximately 190 liters or more. فالقليل, the Shaykh says, فالقليل يتنجس بوقوع النجاسة. The little amount of water will become impure, so that you cannot use it for either wudu or you cannot use it for having a ritual bath. When any impurity fails in it, فالقليل يتنجس, it becomes a najis بوقوع النجاسة. If you have a small amount of water, a najis was to go in it, فيه وإن لم يتغير, even if it does not change. By change, we'll explain what we mean by change. وإن لم يتغير والماء الكثير. So he says a little amount of water will become impure when any impurity fails in it, even though the water does not change. We'll explain what do we mean by change. وَالْكَثِيرُ, and the large amount of water, لَا يَتَنَجَّسُ, it does not become a najis, إِلَّا إِذَا تَغَيَّرَ, unless it changes طعمه, the taste of it, أو لونه, the color, أو ريحه, or the smell. This is what we mean by change. Abundant water will not become impure except when its taste, color, and smell changes. When these changes are found, then that water cannot be used for either wudu, or it cannot be used for ritual bath. So when we say water, general water we mean. So al-ma, when we say water, we mean general water that has no any other attribute. For example, if you've added something into that water and you've made it to juice or something, that is not water. You cannot use it to have wudu with it. And also when we say little or abundant, by abundant, we means it is not permissible to remove hadath. By hadath we mean hadath al-asghar wal-akbar. Hadath, the small hadath, meaning if you've broken your wudu, or al-hadath al-akbar, the big hadath is when you have a janaba or hayd, or remove impurity except with general water. We cannot have wudu, or we cannot have the bath, ritual bath, to clean yourself from janaba or from hayd or nifas, except with water that is general water. Nothing has gone in it. Therefore, so he says, Al-Qalilu ma dun al-Qullatayn. the little amount of water is, for example, that you want to have a bath with, or you want to have your wudu with, it could be less than 190 liters. Anything less than 190 liters is considered as small water, which has its own hukm. وَالْكَثِيرُ قُلَّتَانِ 2 qullas, which is 190 and above, فَأَكْثَرُ. Therefore, al-qalilu, this is the little water, yatanajjasu. It becomes a najis, biwuqu'i najasati fi. For a najis to go in it. For example, if a small najis was to go in a small water, the whole water that in a bucket becomes a najis, even if it does not change. By change we mean 3 things. The taste, and the color, and the smell. Even if it does not change, therefore you cannot use that water. If you are sure that a najis has gone in it, an impurity has gone in it, therefore you cannot use that water for either wudu or for bath, cleaning yourself, to have tahara. And also wal-ma'u al-kathir, but the big amount of water, the abundant water, لا يتنجس إلا إذا تغير. It will not become a najis even if the impurity went in it. Example, you have a swimming pool, a big swimming pool, a small impurity was to go in it, or a najis, it was to go in it. For it not to be able to be used for wudu or for bath, it must change the taste of it, or the color. For example, the color's gone red completely because of the blood or something, or it is tasting bad, or it is smelling, it has got a foul smell, then even that large amount of water then cannot be used. But with regard to little water, we said the hukum is a little amount of water will become impure when any impurity. But there's exception, when any impurity fails in it, then you cannot use it. But we said there's an exception if impurity is so small that even an eye cannot see, or is of a dead creature without flowing blood. For example, if a mosquito was to go in it, it doesn't have blood or anything, or a little fly was to go in the bucket of water less than 190 liters, although it is a little dead creature, it will not affect. It will remain purifying. You can still use it. You can still use this water. But if a big animal, a dead animal, is to be dropped in it, or then that water, the little water, it cannot be used. It cannot purify. But large amount of water, for example, in the sea, if a big ship was to be thrown in it, a dead ship, the water can still be used. No, if it is a swimming pool, a cat was thrown in it or something, then you will remove it. Now you will taste. You will see whether the taste has changed, whether the color has changed, whether the smell has changed. If it is not, therefore it can still be purifying, and it can still be used for wudu, and it can still be used for a ritual bath to clean yourself from janaba. Now the section number 2, mujibatul ghusli, things that makes ritual bath compulsory, are 6. There are 6 things. If they were to happen to you, you must have bath, otherwise you cannot perform salat, or you cannot touch the mushaf and all these other things, inshallah, which we will come to explain. You cannot pray if these things were to happen to you. And these things, we're saying, these are the things that bath becomes compulsory in Islam. You must have bath if these things happen to you, and there's 6 of them. Ilajul hashafati fil farji. The first one is insertion the head of the penis into the vagina. Just the head, even if you have not released your sperms or anything, even if you're just little bit, that head, that little part, if it was to go in the vagina, therefore you must have shower, because you cannot pray, you have lost your tahara. So the insertion of the head of the penis into the private parts of a male or female, human or animal, adult or minor, living or dead, will make it necessary for you to have bath. So ilaj al-hashafati, it is very important to understand this, because some people think when they have sex, until they have completed it or the mani has come out, that is when you should have a bath, but it is not. As soon as you just insert the front, the part of the penis, then you وَخُرُوجُ الْمَنِيِّ, and also the discharge of the semen. Discharging of the semen or discharging of the sperm, male sperms or female sexual fluid, are recognized by the fact that they come. So with the mani, it doesn't matter how it comes. If you had to have a wet dream, you'll still have to have bath. Or if you've slept with your wife, you still have to have bath. If you've watched something, and then if you've watched something dirty or something, and then the mani was to come out, you must have bath. In any way, if it was to come out, then your bath becomes compulsory. And then the third one, which makes bath compulsory, otherwise you cannot pray, it's al-haydu, period or menstruation. When that happens, then you must have bath. So when one gets hayd, from the age of 9 it can start, we said, until any time. If you get period, then once you finish and you've completed it, therefore you must have bath to be able to perform your salah or other a'mals which wudu is required. For example, reciting the Quran, touching the Quran, and all this, which we'll come to explain inshallah. And the fourth one, nifasu, is postnatal bleeding, blood that comes after bath, blood that is discharged after bath. After giving bath, normally it can happen, reasonable amount of blood will come out, and it can happen quickly, and then or it can continue up to 40 days or maximum of 60 days. That blood, while it is continuing to come out, you cannot pray, but once it is completed, therefore you must have shower to be able to do your deeds, your amals, your salat and all others. So the fifth one is walwiladatu, meaning childbirth. After giving birth of a child, ritual birth becomes wajib, even in the case of dry birth or miscarriage. If you had a miscarriage or you've given birth to a child, as soon as you finish, therefore, you must have bath. Wal-mawtu, the sixth one, death, when one passes away, then must be washed. All these are fard. He says wajib. He says mujibatul ghusli, things makes ritual bath compulsory, are sittatun. These are 6. Ilajul hashafati, insertion of the head of the penis, fil farji, into the vagina, wa khurujul maniyi, and discharge of semen or discharge of mani in any way. Once it comes out, then you must have bath for you to be able to perform your salat. Wal haydu, having period, you must have bath. Once you've completed your period, you must have bath. Wal nifasu, and then postnatal bleeding, once it finishes and it is complete, if you want to start doing your amals, you must have bath. Wal wiladatu, and also after giving birth, it is a must, a wajib for you, immediately after giving birth, then you should have a shower. And also, wal-mawtu, the sixth one is death. Once you pass away, you must be washed. Another section is furudul ghusli. Things, the compulsory act of ritual bath are two. Things that you must do when you are performing your ghusl, the ritual bath. These are two things that you must do. The first one, an-niyya, intention, wa ta'mimul badani bil ma. The first one, you must put an intention. You can put an intention in your heart that I'm having this shower because of my period, or I'm having this shower because of the mani that I've seen, or because I've had a child. So intention, it is very important in our amals, and the way you can do it is nawaitu raf'ul hadath al-akbar, or nawaitu ghasl al-janaba. That is how you can say it. Nawaitu raf'ul hadath al-akbar if you've had janaba, or generally raf'ul hadath al-akbar, you can say that. And when you're performing your wudu, nawaitu raf'ul hadath al-asghar, or nawaitu fard al-wudu'i. So the first one is an-niyya. The second one is to make sure ta'mimul badani bil ma'i, to make sure that water reaches all of the hair and the skin, to the root of the hair, under the nails, and outwardly visible portions of the ears, in and out of the ears where you can see. Making sure that you clean also your private parts and everything. Inshallah, we'll explain what we mean. We'll explain the sunnah way, the right way of having bath. This is how to have bath so that you can perform your amals. If it is not done according to these teachings, therefore your amals might not be accepted. So the sunnah way to perform a ritual bath. How do you perform your bath once you have a period, or janaba, or you've given bath, or you've janaba, we said generally. The first one is to begin in the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the merciful. You can say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim in your heart. A'udhu billahi minash shaitan rajim. And we said, once you enter the toilet also, you must make sure that you enter in the correct way, left leg, and then saying A'udhu billahi min al-khubuthi wal-khaba'ithi. You ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for protection from the shaitans, males and females. And also to begin in the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's the first bit. The second bit, to remove any dirt or impurity on the body. If there's any, for example, any sperms or any dirt or anything on your body, or any blood or anything, if you want to have a shower, make sure that you clean and you remove anything. And then thirdly, to perform wudu. As the normal wudu for your salah, you perform a correct wudu to make sure that water touches every part of the body, the wudu, every part of the wudu area, making sure that in your ears, inwards and outwards, inside your nose and all this. So step number 4, when you want to have wudu sunnah, in a sunnah's way, is the step number 4, putting water over your head 3 times, intending to remove, and you should make an intention to remove a major hadath or ritual impurity or hayd. Nawaitu raf'ul hadath al-akbar, or nawaitu ghasl al-janaba, the way we said. The step number 5, to pour water over the right side of the body 3 times, and then left side of the body 3 times, ensuring that water reaches all joints and folds, and to rub on oneself, making sure that you clean. If there's any parts of the body which are folded because of fat or anything, make sure that you remove them, and you make sure that water touches, and you rub yourself to clean yourself. And also the step number 6, to have in having this ritual bath, is it is sunnah to apply, for females it is sunnah to apply a misk or any fragrance on a piece of cotton and inserting it into the vagina if the bath was taken because of hayd, to make sure that any smell of the blood or anything is lost because of that. So inshallah, just to complete complete recap of what we said, there are two kinds of water. One, there is a small amount of water which one can use for wudu, but and there is large amount of water. But if something happened to these, therefore you cannot use them. For example, the little water, any najis that goes in it, as long as it is not tiny that an eye cannot see, and it is tiny that a dead fly or something, a small one, but even if it doesn't change, if a najis or impurity was to fall in it, therefore even if it does not change the color, the taste and the smell, you can still not use it. But large amount of water you can use it, but if it changes the color or taste or smell, then at that time you cannot use it. We said mujibatul ghusli sittatun, there are 6 things that will make having shower compulsory. And the first one, we said insertion of the head of the penis, just the head into the vagina, therefore it is a must having shower. Wa khuruj al-mani, discharge of the mani also, wal haydu, and hayd or period or menstruation, wal nifasu, or giving postnatal bleeding that happens up to 60 days, we said. Wal wiladatu, once one gives birth, therefore they must have shower. And then we said the last one is wal mautu, the person when he passes away, it is a must that he is washed. We said furudul ghusli ithnani, but 2 things are compulsory, it is a must that you do when you are performing your ritual bath, or janaba or hayd or nifas or wilada, what we mentioned, there is intention. Secondly, ta'meemul badani bil ma'i, making sure that you wash the whole body with water. We said the sunnah way of doing it is you start with the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If there's any dirt, you clean your private parts and everything. If there's any dirt, you remove it first, and then you perform your correct wudu, and then you pour water over your head 3 times, and then you put water on your right hand side, and then on 3 times on your left hand side 3 times, and make sure that if there's any parts which are folded because of fat or anything, therefore you must remove and make sure that water touches every part of the body. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us the knowledge and bless us with knowledge, inshaAllah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam.